And we are back.
Yes, after only a week's delay.
Only a single week. Can you believe it?
Oh my god, pretty soon we'll be able to, go like weeks in a row.
Hold on, that's too much pressure for me. I quit.
Oh god. Oh god.
And podcast.
Yeah, really. Okay, so we've had we actually don't have that much to talk about because we're both busy people.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know if you want to go first here.
You can go first. You actually might have some more to say.
So I guess start with our weeks. For me, I finished Lightning Returns to its completion.
Why?
It is just terrible, all the way through to the end. I had zero fun with the whole thing. It just felt like a giant chore.
Why did you play it?
That is an excellent question. I don't know. I felt like from Square Enix, I can accept, with the whole of the Final Fantasy series, there's going to be a couple bad apples. But
yeah,
3 bad apples all in, the same franchise.
In a row.
In a row, says something.
There was a point where people were praising Bravely Default for, hey, they can make good games still.
Yeah, and it's not like they're dead. I don't know if you've kept up with Final Fantasy 14, 5 million subscribers.
But even that was a clusterfuck that they literally had to shut down. Oh, I actually had a story about that.
Sure.
Okay, so I heard about this secondhand. I looked it up, and it's true. So when they were first shutting down Final Fantasy XIV, when they were doing the whole reboot,
yes,
one of the things they did was they had the world that they're on has 2 moons.
Yeah.
So one of the moons, the red one, started to get closer, and over the weeks of it shutting down, it would get closer and closer and closer until on the last day, literally, more Majora's Mask type of stuff.
Yeah.
It was literally the only thing you could see in the sky.
Oh wow, that's actually kind of creepy.
And then it's revealed that it's Bahamut, that the moon is literally Bahamut, and he burns down the entire planet, and that's how the game ends.
That's great.
And there's even a cutscene with him just burning everything down.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
And
that's talking about the first release version, right?
Yeah,
not the alpha. Because I remember they showed when they originally showed their gameplay trailer of this really slow, super grindy bow fight thing. It was just atrocious, and they scrapped that because everyone immediately hated it. Because that game had a lot of bumps, but now it's, as far as I know, I haven't seen bad talk about Final Fantasy 14 in a long time.
It's from what I'm hearing, it's a really decent game. It's got a lot of Final Fantasy throwbacks, you ride the chocobo music plays.
Yeah, they have a lot of the characters and a lot of shout outs to older games.
One of the last quests before the expansion came out, one of the last quests there was getting Magitech armor from Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, that's cool.
And actually they're hinting that I can't remember what it was, the spaceship from Final Fantasy VI. Yeah. You can see it in the sky.
Yeah,
so
because I hear there's a lot of these Easter eggs and stuff
well, that's a huge hint for what the next expansion is going to be.
But from what I've heard, especially Heaven's Sword Forward, it's really great. But then I look back at these Final Fantasy 13, this entire trilogy of games, and I'm just why? I could kind of understand when they went to X2. They just remade the same game, but worse. Yeah, we can throw that one away. But, when they went back a third time, and they just, didn't do anything cool with it.
Well, honestly, it feels... I really have a hard time liking a lot of Final Fantasy 3D games, because I just miss the artwork, that 2D style artwork.
Yeah.
That really dramatic painting. I know some people don't like it, and that's fair, but I personally love that art style.
There's something to be said about really good sprite art and how it's kind of
hell, not even the...
AAA-wise, it's kind of dead.
Well, did you hear about that Kickstarter that they're making, the Sprite School?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And he only wanted $1,000 because he's look, I'm going to make this game anyway, but but it was basically I would appreciate, having warm showers and not having to eat ramen noodles that I found out of a dumpster.
I would appreciate, not dying in the process, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And, like, that's a good gesture. Like, that, like, I almost, like, want to kickstart just because, like, hey, you're doing a cool thing.
But yeah. For those of you who don't know, the Sprite School is this guy, he's making... I don't want to call it a game. It's not a game, but
it's more like a set of tutorials, or kind of, it's a toolbox with tutorials, I guess.
Yes, and what it is, but at the same time, it's also hooked online, so that people, like, you're given an assignment each week, like, for example, do 15 sprites, or whatever.
Yeah.
Do, like, a motion or something. And then you upload it online, and people can grade it and tell you, okay, instead of doing this, you need to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't really a game. It's not a tool. It's not an MMO. It's like a distance learning. It's distance learning is what it is.
Yeah, like, it's kind of more in sort of like an art academy kind of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly it, an art academy.
Which I actually really liked Art Academy. While I was playing it, I could actually draw, but, like, outside of that, for some reason, didn't translate over.
Not so much.
But yeah, so Final Fantasy 13...
Sucks.
13-2... Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. I don't know why they name it, like, backwards. Like, anyways, they're all bad.
Don't play them.
Like, it's a triple black sheep. But on better news, I talked about this last game, but I finished a really good game, and that was Hotel Dusk 215. I'm currently running through a second playthrough.
How many endings are in that game, do you know? Because I know there are multiple endings.
Yeah, I know there's multiples. I can't remember off the top of my head. Like, there's not including, like, just game over states. I think that there's a not so good ending, a normal ending, and then the second playthrough, better ending.
The golden ending.
Yeah, something like that. And I'm kind of, like, going through the second playthrough.
Did you get the bad playthrough or the normal? Did you get the bad ending or the normal ending?
I got the normal one.
How hard is it? Because with those types of games, sometimes it's a matter of, did you solve the puzzle 30 hours ago and 20 saves ago?
Well, it's got a lot of that going on. It's got a lot of, like, little missable secrets. Like, little extra puzzles, I want to say, that, like, you could skip over or you could miss your chance at. Like, there's this one puzzle with a vending machine where if you go around and find all these numbers in the hotel, you can figure out a code that you can put into the vending machine to get, like, a secret prize. But the only chance you get to get change for the vending machine is this, like, one, like, little segment of the game.
Seriously, the guy doesn't carry, like, quarters in his pocket.
No. He carries dollars in his pocket, and you have, like, one chance during, like, the second act to get change for it.
That kind of stuff drives me insane. I cannot stand that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it's a little rough. It's sort of kind of the stuff, though, that, like, on a second playthrough would normally, like, embellish it and make it better, though, because the first one, you play it blind, and the second one, you kind of have a better idea of what's going on.
I am one of those people who, I am a completionist. I have to do everything. And stuff like that, where it's really easily missable, just, ooh.
Well, see, my big issue with that is, like, if this was a, like, 24-hour game or something, yes, I would definitely be like, ooh, don't do it. But this is a pretty short, like, you can beat this in a day kind of game.
Okay.
Where, like, it's kind of okay that you can, miss it the first run through. It's sort of meant to be played twice kind of thing.
Alright, fair enough.
That said, there is no skip text kind of button, and tapping through, like, mystery spoiler talks the second time through is really tedious to the point where you just kind of, like, just are tapping the screen. And
was I who killed the person? It's like, we know.
Yeah, it's like, I already know. I know, like... And then, like, the annoying part is, like, it'll pop up, like, questions and chants, and if, like, you're just tapping the screen, you'll skip over them, and some of them are required, kind of, to...
Get the good ending.
Get the better ending, so it's kind of like, and you just, like, wish you could skip to next dialogue choice, but the option's just not there.
How is it that visual novels have been more advanced than modern games for, like, 30 years?
Well, you gotta remember, this was a Nintendo DS game, and
even back then, visual novels had a skip text option to next choice.
But yeah, because it is kind of a tedious the second way, but it is definitely a game, if you can get your hands on it, because it is kind of not... Like, it had a second playthrough, or a second print run, so it's not that rare, but it is still kind of holding its market value.
Yar.
The price you would have paid at launch is still pretty much the price you'd pay now, unless you could find, like, a good used deal. Like, I found it at a GameStop for $2, but, without box or card or anything.
Yar is what I say to that.
But
Ho.
It is worth it. I do want to sort of... There was another game in this sort of series, the Trace Memory, which was sort of its precursor. And comparing it to that game, I think I liked Trace Memory more.
Really?
Part of the reason is Trace Memory, it wasn't apologetic about kind of being a video game and having very video game things going on. Like, a lot of its puzzles were more like, throw the ball into the hoop and do all this kind of weird stuff. Whereas in a film noir, it's kind of out of place to be doing some of that weird stuff. And so, like, they still have, like, use the wrench to do the thing. But they can't branch out too far from that.
So you can't have goofy stuff like the crane game from Link's Awakening.
Yeah. And that kind of stepped it back. Like, neither games had anything, like, super wacky and zany. Like, put the clown hat on the ghost and shoot him in the face with the rocket. Like, none of that. Like,
no, that's King's Quest.
Yeah, like, it didn't have any, like, weird King's Quest stuff. Like, it was all pretty straightforward. But I kind of liked Trace Memory more as a game. But I definitely I just kind of like the way Hotel Dusk, like, the fact that you played it, like, book style, just a lot more of the atmosphere to it, and there was obviously, because this one is sort of a murder case, with a lot more stakes going on, and you have, like, the gruffled lead. It has a lot more going on. The characters have a lot more depth.
Atmosphere can really either make or break a game.
Yeah, and this one, it definitely makes the game. All of the characters feel really human. Like, there is no one character where you're like, oh, that's just so-and-so, and she's crazy.
As a mystery, how did it go? Were you able to, like, predict who done it, like, super early on, or was there a bit of actual,
I think they kept it, like, far enough deep. Well, it's one of those mysteries where, like, you don't get all the pieces until the very end. Before the reveal, and then you pick up all the remaining pieces.
Oh, so it's not one of those fair play mysteries. There isn't an option to really know who did it because you're not working on all the information.
Yeah, it's more, like I said, it is a little bit more visual novel in which, like, you will go through all of the motions and the mystery isn't solved, so to speak. But you can sort of, like, say, all right, like, it's one of, like, these guys, definitely. Throughout the game, you get feels, and it throws red herrings, and it does what a mystery should, but it's one of those you don't really figure out until close to the end when they reveal, like, oh, by the way, like, this is the thing you didn't even know about.
Oh, by the way, this guy's nickname is Stabby McStabber.
Yeah, I remember reading this thing on How Seagulls Sing. I forget, like, the Japanese title. But it was When Seagulls Sing.
When Seagulls Cry.
When Seagulls Cry, yes, that's right.
I've heard of it, but I can't remember anything about
it. There's an anime on it, but the visual novel, I remember the mystery writer talking about, like, how the mystery goes. And, like, one of the things, like, he talked about is, like, because it was released in acts, like Act 1 and then Act 2, and he kind of talked about how, like, everything you know in Act 1 is everything that you know, but it may not be all the information you need. And so when Act 2 shows up, you can completely throw Act 1 away, with the new information and how your guesses are. And it plays kind of like that. Whereas whatever you learn at the first, that's all you know and that's all that's valid, but that's not what's reality, because only the author knows what's really going on, and they have the right to keep secrets from you, and they have the right to make it uneven to keep you playing.
I know, but there's something to be said about the fair play mysteries where you may not realize you have all the information, but all the information is presented to you. And if you're intelligent enough, you can, figure it out.
Yeah, like Agatha Christie kind of, the golden age of detectives. And, that's fine, for those kind of stories. Because, I remember there were, all these old rules that were made about, how you make a detective story, and you have to have this, and you have to have this, and... all the information must be there before, this point. But as we move past that, and as we kind of, moved into the modern era and the postmodern era...
Well, you see
we've gone back and looked at that and said, hey, we could make maybe not a good detective story, but a much more interesting mystery story by breaking those rules.
You say that, but these rules that you're talking about... were 19th, early 20th century World War I type of things.
Yeah.
And noir basically did that, and now it's actually coming back around again.
Oh yeah, totally. These are I don't think that genre will ever really die, the golden age sort of detective stories, but I definitely, I don't mind going in a different direction, and this definitely is not a golden age detective story. This is a modern, I guess.
This is a noir. It's a noir. Noir is not modern. Let's not kid ourselves. Noir is a very specific...
Well, noir was based out of film noir, which was more artistically styled.
But it's a very specific... Even that is very specific to a period around World War II. A very specific...
Yeah.
A very specific art style that is Art Deco and very... It has a very specific mood and a very specific art style that is very coming out of World War II.
Yeah. It definitely had a lot to do with time, especially because when it was made, a lot of it was around, pre-color movies, post-color movies, around that time frame, where they were starting to, push the limits of what you can do with black and white film. And that's why a lot of film noir has to do with shadows and lightings. Snake! He's
Snake.
Dead. We'll talk about Snake.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's based on film noir, but it is not film noir. It's film tan, I guess. There's a lot more tan coloring in the game.
But no black people.
But no black people. Very racist.
Oh, yeah. Did we talk about the wrestling thing at all?
No, I don't think we have.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
All right. Well, that's all for me. I think I've gone a little long.
No, you can keep going. Did you do anything else?
No, that's pretty much it for me. I guess anything else I'll talk about in my doing later kind of stuff. So I will pass it to you. What have
I been up to?
What have you been playing, seeing, watching?
Okay, so I have really not been doing too terribly much. I'm still waiting for my parts.
All right, moving on.
I'm still going to be waiting for my parts.
Yes. You've told me all about how you are anxious for Amazon to take your money.
Yes, I am. I have never done an order this big off of Amazon before. So I don't know if there's fraud protection or what, but Amazon has not taken my money yet. And I want them to take my money.
Now, how much money is currently up in the air? Because you said part of the money was taken, part of it wasn't, right?
Upwards of $1,000 is still up in the air.
Upwards of $1,000. That is a lot of money up in the air still.
Exactly. That is why. Can you see why I'm a little bit...
Yeah.
But I did call my bank. Apparently it's on Amazon's and that they haven't...
Yeah.
It's a third-party thing, so I'll be fine as long as the parts get to me.
Yep, so... But that is, do you have a date for when, everything should be here?
Everything should be here.
At the latest.
At the latest by September 4th.
Ooh!
Yes.
So it is coming fast, so you will have a nice...
nice new computer.
nice machine. Do you have So you've ordered everything. Like, what are the main components? Like, what's your GPU? What's your processor? What's the case? That's the most important, really.
I cannot tell you off the top of my head. I have to like show people.
Oh!
I am not one of those people.
Oh!
I'm not one of those people who will tell you. I want to say it's a decent midline computer.
All right. How much money in total is the whole build?
The whole build total, I want to say, let's see, with the prices and everything, is about $1,650 to $1,700.
Okay. That's about how much I paid for, but I also wiggle roomed and used parts from other things, and mine's a little bit older. Like, I know off the top of my head, I've got the i5 something 90K, and the 770 WindForce for my GPU. Those are like the main components.
I got like a 970 actually. So
970. Yeah, that's a lot better than mine.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of maybe upgrading soon-ish. Either wait a year or wait a lot. I want to get to a 980 Ti probably. But that's not until that goes under like at least $500.
Okay,
before I even think about that.
Oh, I discovered I'm going to need to buy something else soon. I'm going to need to buy a new MP3 player.
Oh, MP3s are dead.
I don't care. I don't use streaming. Okay.
No. I'm not saying MP3s are dead. I'm saying your player's dead.
It's not dead yet, but there's a. Okay, I have an iPod, a classic iPod.
All right.
And one of the problems with it apparently is that when you plug in your headphone jack, one speaker will not work.
And you've already tested that it's not the headphones, right?
I've tested it on 3 different headphones, including the new pair I bought.
That's rough.
So, I have avoided trying to get a new iPod because Apple, in their infinite wisdom, have decided that nobody wants anything larger than 68 gigabytes anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Apple either.
But then I discovered that their new iPod Touch is 128 gigabytes. And it's like, you know what? I don't care. I like using the product. I'm familiar with the product. That's the biggest thing. So it's like, okay, that's the next thing I'm going to get. Because I want to listen to my stuff on the go. I want to be able to listen to my podcasts or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's smaller than the one I have. It's like 40 gigabytes smaller. But it's still big enough. I can take things off.
Yeah, because I remember when I was choosing media players, I sort of bumped into the same. I was never a fan of Apple with the iPad or the iPod.
So you bought a Zune?
I did not buy a Zune. I bought a Kwon J3, which is from a Korean company.
No, really?
And it's actually really nice. It's sort of an audiophile MP3 player. It has a lot more built into, as far as like equalizers go, and as far as negating the need for an amp. On top of that, it also has a port that I can plug in micro SD cards. So if I want more space, I just put more space into it.
Okay, that's nice.
And I think like I had like 128 to start with for the one I got. Plus, of course, I can always add, micro SD cards, and if I want, like, I could keep multiple on me and swap out, so I could have as much space as I want.
Okay.
And like, it's one of those things like I needed a lot more because I don't know what kind of headphones you use, but all of the headphones I use costed more than $200, so I kind of mattered a little bit more to me what player I was using.
So you're more of an audio snob than I.
A little bit more. I wouldn't say snob because I definitely, for the most part, have pretty bad ears. But I definitely like how music sounds over the headphones that I have as opposed to the headphones that come with an iPad.
To me, it's more like, can I listen to this and like mow the lawn or go for a walk or whatever? If the answer is yes, then I'm okay with it. If the answer is no, then fuck you.
Yeah.
That's more my position.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm the person, I have headphones for, like, every need. Like, I have Sennheiser, the Gamer 1, I believe, the open ones. which are basically for my PC use because they have a mic on them. They're actually really nice. They're really comfy and they really work well. I have Audio Technica M50s for my larger portable music for when I'm not like moving around and I'm just sitting because they are larger headphones. And then I have an Audio Technica. I forget the model name. They're the ones right over there.
So are you just swinging for endorsements now, or?
Yes, Audio Technica and Sennheiser. Please send me money. But no, like those ones are more for like listening to movies because they have a lot better surround than the other headphones. But yeah, like I could totally understand like wanting a really good music player. Especially like as I've gotten more into PC gaming, I found like I want better headphones a lot more. I want to make the most out of, the systems that I have. And nothing is like feels better than like playing like a scary game and having like really good headphones where you can hear like the creaking of a knob like to perfection. Or like when you're playing a shooter and having like a really good soundstage, so like you can kind of hear where people are. That's a really cool thing that I've never had before, like on console games.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, so anything else you've been doing?
I watched something that led me to play something, and then I just watched something. So I'm not sure if I told you. I'm not sure if I told you last time, but my mom specifically decided, you know what? I'm going to watch all of Game of Thrones.
All right.
So I was sitting...
I think my dad went through that phase too. He was like, yeah, I'm just going to buy all the DVDs and watch them. So
she went to Amazon, she got the thing on the streaming and was watching that, and I was sitting with her, and you know what my only thought was while that was going on? I really want to play Mountain Blade. So I booted up Mountain Blade again.
Yes.
And I put in another...
I think like that was one of the first games you talked about.
Yes,
on this
and I put in another 24 hours into that over the past week.
Oh, wow, yeah. Like, you got back into it.
Yeah, it's like, fuck, I forgot how much fun this was. Damn it.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about games is, like, you can go back and play them for, like, whatever reason. Like, you just feel an itch like that, and, like, scratching that itch is great.
And then I wanted to watch Law & Order, because I was a huge Law & Order fan. And it's like, you know what? I want to listen to that little dun-dun noise again.
Now, which Law & Order are we talking about?
We are talking Law & Order Classic.
Classic, alright.
We are talking Law & Order
No, that's
Classic.
Special Victims, Hotline Miami, I don't know, there's a billion of them now.
There were a billion of them. But you see here, I'm getting to the problem. No legal streaming service has Classic Law & Order.
Oh, that is a touchy issue.
Except Special Victims Unit.
Really?
So I mean, you could buy like multiple seasons of Law & Order, but I just wanted to watch it. I didn't want to have to go through all the rigmarole.
Yeah.
So I sat down and watched Special Victims Unit because, damn it, I wanted to watch Law & Order. So I sat down and watched that. They only had 3 seasons as well. And I was never really a fan of Special Victims Unit. I didn't really like the show. They actually kind of improved from my memory. There were still episodes where it's like, oh, this is kind of dumb. But there were a couple that were actually pretty decent.
Alright.
And I just... Okay, the character, I'm not sure if you watch Special Victims Unit.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Okay, the Munch character, the kind of taller white guy with gray hair and glasses.
Yeah.
Okay, I looked up his character. That actor has played the same character for over 20 years in 5 different shows. He was on Homicide: Life in the Street. That was the first one.
Yeah.
He was on Law & Order. He was in Special Victims Unit. He was in the Law & Order spin-offs. He was in The Simpsons. He was in The X-Files, but he was in The X-Files back when he was still in the Baltimore Police Department. You could fucking make a timeline of this character's career.
So does that mean that, That the X-Files are part of Law and Order canon.
And The Simpsons.
And The Simpsons. Everything's part of The Simpsons canon.
But yes, X-Files and Law and Order apparently exist in the same fucking universe, which is...
Oh, that's hilarious. I could just see, like, the special visits. We're gonna get that molester, and it's like there's an alien, like, I probe!
But oh my god, that is just... He played the same character for five different shows.
That's dedication, though.
Yes, it is.
Like, that's either dedication or some hardcore acceptance of the typecast.
And I mean, I guess he's having fun with it because at some point he just
like,
started...
I wonder if it's like he loves the role or if this is a really steady paycheck for me.
No, at some point he just started to play like almost a caricature of himself. So at some point it was just his thoughts and opinions that were the character was saying, and it's like, okay, well, play a character that long, why not just literally take ownership of it?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like, he is the character.
So why not? But yeah, that's that. Did I watch any movies? I did watch something. Hold on, let me think if I can remember it. Shit finagles.
I like Shit Finagles. That was a really good movie.
Yeah, really. I was gonna say it sounds like a potato chip brand. Try new finagles, now shit flavored.
Ooh. Yeah, have you tried any of, like, the new weird flavors they have?
I have
Because they do this every year. They release, like, a set of, like, choose a flavor, and they have, like, weird flavors, and the winner's supposed to, like, become an official one, but none of them last more than, like, an extra month.
For those of you who don't know, we live near a Frito-Lay facility.
We do.
So, we get the good stuff.
Oh, yeah. We get it, like, straight off the pumpkin patch.
And because there's so many, it employs so many people from this area, anytime you go to a party, there's always a guy who brings, like, a fucking 20-gallon trash bag and pours it out, and it's all...
We are Lay's City over here. Yes. You better like your potato chips.
Potato chips, Cheetos, whatever the fuck you want. Oh, I actually really love that about this area. Because if you wanted free potato chips, you could easily find free potato chips somewhere.
Yeah, they are... I know a lot of people who work at Lay's, but to get back to, like, the flavor... This year, the 4 flavors, alright, not to, like, go in any depth, but just the 4 flavors. Truffle fries. Ew. Truffle, the, like, mushroom, kind of, not the chocolate.
Ew.
There is Reuben. There is biscuits and gravy.
Oh.
And I'm trying to remember the 4th one. Gyro. Gyro, whatever. Euro.
Like the money.
I don't know, I see the G every time. I'm like, gyroscope? Because that's how it's spelled. But yes, the Euro. So.
The only one of those that really sounds kind of good is the Reuben, because I like barbecue already, and I think it would taste kind of like a barbecue chip.
For me, like, all the taste of it, because I work at a retail that sells them, so I've had the chance to try all of them. No charge, of course.
Of course.
But the truffle fries is actually really good.
Really?
If you are thinking of trying one of these, the truffle fries, it's like sour cream and onion, but with Parmesan.
That actually does sound kind of good.
Yeah, like the Reuben's not bad. All the flavor to me is in the smell of it. Sort of like how coffee, all the flavor is aromatic. Mm-hmm. And then biscuits and gravy, the southern one, because they're all based on like
different
a region.
Regions.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast, the South, and the Midwest, I guess. I don't know how gyro is the Midwest.
Euros,
gyros, pyros. Words. But like the sour,
biscuits and gravy.
Oh my gosh, I'm just mixing them all up. Yes, the biscuits and gravy is, in my opinion, the worst of them. But surprisingly, like, at the retail I work at, one of the better sellers. I don't know if that's just because we're in the South and everybody loves biscuits and gravy, but I found them to just be gross.
All right. And that really just wraps up my week. I'll probably remember something at the end again like I did last time.
That is perfectly acceptable. It's not like we planned this out at all in advance.
Oh, we do now.
With
sometimes.
our 3 screens and our whiteboard.
Yeah, we got 3 screens and a whiteboard. This is the quality.
We
podcast.
are high technical here.
Well, speaking of whiteboard, let's get to the first item.
So this is one you want to throw out. So throw it out there.
All right. So there was a big Pokken Tournament Invitational.
Yes.
And let's talk about that for a little bit before we talk about anything else.
Just Pokken itself?
And Pokken itself before we get into the other part.
How much have you seen of like Pokken gameplay and all of that?
I seen it. From what I saw, it looked kind of like a mix between Dissidia, Final Fantasy Dissidia, and like straight fighting games if you can get in. So that actually sounds like it might be.
That's about sort of the feel I'm getting. Like it's sort of it's almost like a 3D anime fighter, I want to say. So,
and I actually kind of think that's interesting because if you're a zoner, let's say like Gengar's a zoner or whatever.
Yeah.
And that character, you always want to keep them out. But if Machamp can get in and get in some solid hits, he'll win. So I think it's actually kind of interesting how because from what I saw, it goes from the 3D kind of view camera to when you get in some hits, and then it goes into the 2D plane.
Yeah.
And then you just do
the camera like zooms in on it. Yeah.
And then you do fighting game.
Yeah, because it's kind of it normally has this like, I guess normally depends on how the game's being played at the moment, but it has this like zoomed out like 3D perspective, especially for characters who just want to like poke from a distance. Like I saw a Gengar Pikachu match where Pikachu was just throwing out Thunder Shocks and Gengar was throwing out his Shadow Balls or whatever. It was Japanese, so I don't know the names of everything yet. But like the camera was out and there was a lot of like moving in the 3D plane, both vertically and horizontally. And then other matches, like I saw a Lucario Machamp match where they just basically like they just bum rush each other, and it's straight up a fighting game.
So that actually does sound like it'll be fun. I do have 2...
All I've seen of it, it gets, like, me really interested.
It gets me interested, but there are 2 complaints I have.
Alright.
Well, almost 3. 2 complaints, one of them kind of links to the other. So it's like, okay. Lucha Pikachu.
Yes, Lucha Pikachu
is a cool idea. Apparently, Pikachu as a luchador plays like Heihachi.
Yeah, sort of.
Like has the same moves, which Tekken Team. Why would they give Heihachi's moveset to Pikachu though? That's what I want to know.
It's Pikachu. Do whatever they want.
All right, fair enough.
Like I guess they got regular and sumo in this one, so or luchador.
But here's where my other complaint. Here's my other thing. Why not just have the luchador Pokemon? The Hawlucha.
Hawlucha, yeah.
Oh my god, Hawlucha was the best of this new generation.
Yeah, I definitely... Well, I'm wondering if Hawlucha's also going to be in the game.
But if they're going to add DLC fighters, the first thing I want to see, the very first thing is the Hitmon family. Because there's no Hitmonlee, there's no Hitmonchan, there's no Hitmontop, there's not even that stupid baby one.
Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone.
Come on, Tyrone, get your shit together.
How can you have a Pokemon fighting game and not have those guys? I mean, for real.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of one of those curious things. Like, as far as I know, like I've only seen gameplay, and I don't know too much about the money situation going on there.
Well, I mean, it is Tekken Team, so...
So, like, I assume there will be some DLC and maybe some DLC characters going on, and...
I mean, if I really had my choice, and I know this is stupid, and I know why they didn't do it, I would just have Pokken fighting just be the fighting types, just all the fighting types. From the S tier, like Blaziken, Machamp, to the stupid Z tier, like Gradavier, whatever, recolor.
Yeah.
And I know why they didn't do that, because that doesn't fucking sell.
Well, like, it also, you can incorporate a lot more Pokemon by having, like, tight matchups and stuff like that.
I know, but
as far as I know, like, I'm assuming they're going to have either in reality or just they have, like, extra, like, side Pokemon support ones. I don't know if that's where the type casting's coming in more, but
it's just it's just sad is what it is. But good news, really good news, in fact, is that they stopped this from becoming a literal massacre.
And here's where we get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah,
of our
here's the real interesting part from this story. So apparently, two guys, were going to shoot up the tournament. They had, like, I don't know what it was. They had, like, rifles, and they had, like, over $10,000 worth of shotgun shells, and they had knives.
They had some heat.
They had an arsenal.
Yeah.
That's the word. Arsenal.
Like, it was not like little pistols and they were gonna go pew pew. Like, they had some heat going on.
They had an arsenal. And so they caught the guys, and they really can't defend themselves because they were carrying their guns in flower cases. Like, they were going straight up mob war shit.
Yeah, they were going, like, I saw this shit in the movie, it'll work.
But here's the two, I don't want to say funny parts, but the two weird parts of this story. First off, apparently they're thinking his motive now is that he got banned from a fan website.
For real?
For real.
Oh my gosh. Do we know what website it was?
We do not. This is all speculative at this point.
Alright.
I would love it if Bulbapedia just...
Bulbapedia. Oh no, not Bulbapedia.
just became like this...
Cerebi.net. No, why'd you do it? He only cussed a little bit.
Oh god, could you imagine if it was Smogan?
Smogan.
I fucking told you Pikachu was bottom tier! I fucking told you! Say it!
Why didn't you ban Kyogre Megas?
And
that's hilarious.
the second thing is...
Like, it's terrifying, but also hilarious.
Well, it can be hilarious because it didn't happen. Because all the dark jokes you want to make, you can actually make because it didn't happen.
That's the justification.
Yes, it is. And okay, so the second thing is they found out about this on Facebook. They posted on Facebook with pictures of the guns that they were going to do this. So, like we talk about,
all their planning, all their flower pots, and they were just like, "Hey guys, guess what? Today I'm gonna kill some dudes."
So, like we talked, I heard this on a dialogue. So, we've talked about with fan games before. Don't announce it until you're finished. Rules for your massacres. But yeah,
I don't think we should be giving tips to people on how to kill people. Like, hey guys, please don't Facebook your deaths.
If you buy all the shells from one website, the NSA is going to get word. So buy buy boxes of 50 from a bunch of different websites,
all under different names. Pick it up at your neighbor's house. He did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bury the guns in your neighbor's. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you through this murder spree. Just you wait.
I'm pretty sure this is how that guy from that that Hatred game started.
Like, call Nicolas Cage. We'll be the Lord of War.
Oh god. Oh my god. Could you imagine if they made like a Hatred DLC where you're at the Pokemon convention?
Oh my god. Don't even.
Oh god, that would be terrible.
It'd be hilarious though.
Okay, so.
But yeah.
Speaking of terrible. You know what's not terrible?
I'm gonna guess it's our next topic.
MGS5.
Metal Gear Solid 5. Specifically the Phantom Pain.
Okay. You have to admit that was a good segue.
We nailed it.
Yes, we did.
That was some teamwork.
Okay.
But yeah, so Metal Gear Solid 5. Which honestly, there is a bit of bad news here, but let's start it off on a high note.
The
reviewer embargo, as it were, has dropped.
And near universal praise, I believe the word was?
Yeah, it is. I've seen more 10 out of 10s than I've seen for a very long time. I I think
Since
like the
less
lowest
polish.
score I saw was like a 9. Which on the one hand, like, I'm glad. I was worried a little bit with all the goings on with Konami that like maybe shit was going down and it was going to hurt the game. But from what I understand, everyone seems to love this game.
Well, it was more or less finished by the time that shit started to go down.
Yeah, but the polish that really makes it shine, that brings it out of the 7 and into the 10 tier, that's all like end game stuff. Like that's all the stuff they work at the end.
Which we're not going to talk about because if Steven spoils this game to me at all, I'm going to take this whiteboard and shove it through his throat.
That was one of like the awkward things, like kind of going through the reviews, just like, where's your number? Where's your number? Just let me see your number. I don't want to see any spoilers.
Don't read the text. Look at the number. Look for the number. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck you. You don't do the number system. Gone.
Oh gosh, yes. Maybe sometime like I'll get into. I actually really hate like the number system in general, just the way it works.
Yes, but
and I have a proposed better version. But before, there was actually one review that I did read.
was there spoilers?
Unfortunately, this was the one group that did not actually get to play the game.
Oh.
Which is how we segue into our next bit. How much do you know about how Konami let the people play the game?
I heard like they were gonna do an LP thing with the release.
What they did was they went to all the review companies and said, hey, you can come here. We will give you access to this game with our supervision in our house, with our people watching for these small group of hours for 1 week. And so the reviewers basically had like 8 to 5s where they could come in, play on their systems, which was a PS4. They all played the PS4 version.
So no word about the PC version yet.
So no word about the PC, no word about the Xbox. They all played on the PS4. Which is kind of saying something if they wanted it on the PS4, not the Xbox. Same with the PC. But, like, they basically were, like... I heard, like, a lot of reviewers, like, just complaining about, like, the way they had to review it. Because this is a long game. And they were basically told, like, you have only 40 hours, 40, 50 hours you have with this game.
To be fair to Konami, which, is like saying to be fair to Hitler. To be fair to Hitler, his ideas were...
Hitler wasn't that bad. He just killed the Jews.
Yeah.
These guys.
Who cares? But to be fair to Konami, it's not like game reviewers spend a lot of time with the game anyway.
Yeah, but this is one of those cases where... like, they flew them out, like, jet-lagged with, like, only a set amount of time to... sit this down, and they had to like bum rush through the game to try to get to the ending, and so there weren't a whole lot of talk about like side ops and optional things because they all just kind of bum rushed through the game.
Do you know what this almost sounds like to me?
What?
Okay, I'm gonna go classical literature on you.
Go for it.
This sounds like Dante's Inferno. You were lost in they kidnap you from the woods. They fly you out. Okay, excuse me. What does that kanji say? Oh, it says abandon all hope.
You enter here.
And then you go to limbo, and you see like Kojima's in the limbo canto of hell.
He's like, "Hey guys, thank you for playing my game."
Yeah, and then
howdy.
Yeah, and then that actually would be Purgatorio. So okay, Kojima's in Purgatorio right now. He's in purgatory.
He was one of the ones Jesus forgot about.
Yeah, and then so I wonder who the angel guide would be for the Inferno. Who? Let's just say Jim Sterling is the
Jim Sterling.
Yeah, Jim Sterling is the angel guiding you through the hell that is Konami.
Oh, that's actually a hilarious image. And here's where the fucktards made this game.
So the Lust Circle is the CG Castlevania Pachinko. And in the deepest, most bottom layer of hell, Satan himself is a 3-headed monster consisting of, the CEO, whoever the fuck that is. And what would be 2 other heads of the Kojima Satan?
The Kojima Satan. it would be it would be the CEO of Konami.
Yeah.
It would be the Silent Hills HD remake, and it would be Police Knots, always there to haunt him.
So yes, that's we need to make that.
We'll make a stupid fan game going through the circle.
Dante's Konami featuring Jim Sterling.
Kojima's Inferno.
Featuring Jim Sterling
Featuring
and
Jim.
Dante from Devil
We just
May Cry
make
4.
random cuts of featuring Dante from Devil May Cry. Every time.
Every time that gets you?
Yes, that is. Oh, it's so hilarious. Because you know what that's from, right?
Yes.
Yes. Which I actually have it.
Oh, you actually have it!
Oh, hold up. There we go.
Where is it?
No, it's not this version.
Oh no!
I think it was just the European. No, it was Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. That has, because it just has the little featuring
Dante from Capcom's Devil May Cry 2.
Yeah, it doesn't have the little circle thing. Oh, but it's got it.
Devil May Cry 2 even? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that Dante must be easy to beat.
But, yeah. So, how the event went was the players came in and they were just basically, like, shuffled through and play the game. And from what I understand...
past Cerberus.
Yeah, and they were, like, played with someone standing over their shoulder. I don't really, like I said, I didn't read any of the like actual reviewer stuff of whether they gave hints or not. But the one person I did read, they actually had a really good, almost meta review, was PC Gamer's article, where they were like, well, we didn't get a copy of the game, but here's what everyone's saying about it.
So it's Metacritic. It's... Oh, God, could you imagine reading that review on Metacritic? It's going to get, like, surreal.
But yeah, like, they broke it down. They broke down what all the other reviewers say. So it was actually a really good article. All things considering, like, it was a lot better than their normal... we would have given you a review, but they didn't give us a PC copy.
So,
which happens a lot. But they... went through, like, ING said this, and GameSpot said this, and whoever said that. And from what I understand, the game is really, really good.
aside from the fucking multiplayer.
The one thing, like, they didn't get to play a whole lot of the multiplayer.
Well, here's the thing,
But I assume you're getting into... the microtransaction issue?
I was going to say, I've talked about how the game was mostly done by that time, but the one thing that Konami managed to get its...
They managed to slip in microtransactions.
And that's really frustrating, because I wanted to play multiplayer with a friend of mine. He's a big Metal Gear Solid fan. And he was the one who actually eventually convinced me to get the Legacy.
Yeah.
I was asking him about it, and he's like, you know what, I know that there is a copy that you could get off of PSN, but just buy the disc. Just buy the disc, buddy.
Yeah.
So I talked to him after I talked to you last night, but...
Yeah. It's definitely worth it. It is the ideal form of Metal Gear Solid. The only thing I might add that is not on Metal Gear Solid, I think, is the original Zone of the Enders Metal Gear Solid 2 demo. Which... sort of needs to be played for historical reference.
Oh, is this the demo that like convinced people the game was going to be totally different?
Yes, so, and it's technically the demo's still in the original game. It's called the Tanker section, and it's the opening of Metal Gear Solid 2. But, like, this is the one section where you play as Snake and you go through and everyone was like, oh yeah, it was Snake. And then, of course, as we all know now, the game was about Raiden.
Which is not a bad thing, because I feel like Raiden's...
Well, it's sort of one of those things in hindsight.
Is not a bad thing.
And, like, even in hindsight, it's not a terrible thing. It's just one of those things that would infuriate you.
If you were expecting one thing.
Yeah, but the game, like, is very open, like, are you mad? Why are you mad? Like, it actually deconstructs
your emotional state.
Yep, and that's one of the reasons why Metal Gear Solid 2, to me, is one of the best games ever made. just for the way it does that, both within the game and outside of the game, and understanding games as a meta, but keeping it within a scope of the game itself. And it's one of those things you'll have to play. I don't want to like spoil anything about it, because it is a really good game, and there are a lot of plot twists in Metal Gear.
You know what I'm gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna come over here tomorrow, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the Metal Gear stuff. We're
gonna do it. Yes. Oh, I'm excited.
We didn't make this plan before, but we fucking made it now.
It's happening now. Metal Gear Solid.
I can't be as bad as DSP. Because I watched that video again, and it's like, oh god, if there's only one request I have, it's that I'm not as fucking bad as this dude.
Yeah, well, I wasn't that great at the game, but at least I knew how an inventory worked. If you want to see something hilariously sad...
How not to play
Metal Gear Solid. There's a 2 and there's a 3.
I was watching Metal Gear Solid 3, and it's like... he's not... You're supposed to be sneaky!
You gotta sneak, bro. You gotta sneak. No, I'm gonna shoot all the guys. Like, to be fair, I shot all the guys too, but at least I snuck when you had to sneak. I tried to sneak first.
In my defense, I will shoot a lot of the guys as well, but I will be sneaky while I do it.
Like, I'm definitely one of those players who, like, I don't feel safe, like, doing anything until everyone is dead.
But anyway, I'm not sure a good transition from this.
Well, there was one last thing.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay, let's see.
And that's just going on. I've had a lot of bad experiences in the past with game reviewers giving 10 out of 10s, and then I hate the game.
Example.
The most obvious example that comes to mind, BioShock Infinite.
I still don't get that. I don't get the hate for that game, but...
Oh, I found it just atrocious. And so that does leave me on kind of an awkward note as we move forward. That, yes, like, I'm hopeful that the game is everything we think it is. And I'm hoping they're doing it in the mindset that it is a Metal Gear Solid game. But I did play Metal Gear Solid 4, and that game was so radically different than, say, Metal Gear Solid 3.
Of course you were. You were playing a fucking old guy.
Well, my problem with Metal Gear Solid 4 wasn't...
No. I actually really don't know anything about the game, so don't spoil.
Well, I'm not going to spoil anything, but basically Metal Gear Solid 3 kept itself just the right amount of cheesiness. Same with the other Metal Gears. Like, they had all the goofy codec calls, and they had all of that with the serious tonal stuff. You know, with all the emotional, why is this happening? Blah, 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 right?
Can love bloom on the battlefield? I don't know. Let's try the Infinite Ammo headband and find out.
But, like, they had those things, and they worked together really well. And then Metal Gear...
Shit. Sorry.
Oh, you broke it. You're dead now.
I broke the whiteboard. We have no plan anymore.
And then Metal Gear Solid 4, it threw away a lot of the goofy funny.
To actually try to answer some questions.
Yeah, to try to, like, be super serious, and that held it back a lot more. And then coming from Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes, which is just dark the whole way through. There is no, like, silver lining in the main story. Like, some of the off missions are goofy, but the main story itself is just 100% just gut-wrenchingly dark. And so I'm worried, like, they'll kind of miss some of the fun that makes Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, and 3 just the best.
He was raising his hand. For
I was charging a spirit bomb. Give me your sneakiness energy so that I may stealthily show off that ass.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the end of Metal Gear Solid.
Speaking of...
your next note, I feel like has more to do with me. Are you about to judge me? Am I being judged right now?
Actually, no.
I'm not, because I see a lot of amiibos right here, and all that's written down is, Amiibo.
Amiibo.
Amiibo. Hold on.
There is a difference. Now,
There's a Q?
There's a Q. Now, this is a Chinese product. This is a Chinese bootlegger product that is really super...
Hold on. You're not about to tell me the Chinese are bootlegging Amiibos, are you?
Oh, no, but this is something completely different.
Okay. I was a little worried there for a second.
Well, yes, they are, but there's a difference. This is a product for me. And this is a product for everybody who would like an Amiibo, but doesn't want to pay their firstborn child for it. This is a product that is an Amiibo fooler. You put in your image of the Amiibo, and it generates a code.
So it's an Amiibo emulator, I'm guessing, almost.
Almost. So if you just want the Splatoon DLC that's hidden behind that paywall, that's hidden behind a literal paywall.
Yes.
And it has room for 200 different Amiibos.
This is actually starting to sound really cool.
And it's Amiibo, but replace the B with a Q, so Amiiquos?
Amiibo? Yeah, I guess Amiibo. I don't know. You know I'm bad with English.
And this isn't even really... This is Chinese English.
This is Chinese... Oh, well, if it's Chinese, Ting Chong...
Oh, don't do
Wabong.
that. Don't do that, please. Let's not get super racist. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, that's actually a product that I might think about getting before Nintendo shuts it down.
It actually does sound kind of... It sounds like something Nintendo itself should kind of do.
It sounds like something Nintendo should have done.
Like, it sounds like something they could make, like, the Amiibo Nintendo version, and, like, you pay, like, $1 or something, like, to download whatever Amiibo you want. Because they do contain DLC and part of, all that jazz.
So that's the problem that Nintendo really should have fixed, but if they're not going to fix it, the Chinese bootleggers will.
Chinese, they've done some great, because, I remember when the Smash Brothers GameCube adapters like ran out of stock. It was the Chinese who were like, "Hey guys, we made our own. It works," and it filled the demand.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's capitalism for you.
Speaking of capitalism,
please.
Dead Realms. This is your topic.
Yes. Oh, yes. You were high on the board. Yes, so Dead Realms.
Also, a very good segue. I feel like we're hitting all the segues.
We are. It's almost a well-oiled machine right now.
It's almost like we planned this.
That can't speak English.
Yes.
And might really like Metal Gear Solid. But so the controversy here. So. Game Dead Rising, right?
I don't know what Dead Realms made.
Dead Realms, yes. So Dead Realms.
Pull up your information.
I've got it right here. But basically, this was a game. It was a horror game. I think it was like a multiplayer horror game.
Check it.
And the company that made it was like 5-bit something. Trying to read. 3 Black Dot. All right. ... Yes. So 3 Black Dot. And they made the game, and all of that's fine and dandy. But here's where things start to get a little weird. So there were some YouTubers, CNaniers, the Syndicate Project, and Vanos Gaming. I'm assuming those are their channels or their handles. But they all released videos about the game, them playing the game. Let's Play style, the horror, all of that jazz. What they did not reveal was that these people were actually co-developers of the game. And so the controversy comes up now is, are they technically breaking the law by not disclosing that this is essentially an advertisement?
That is actually a good question. I think a lot of it depends on the perception and where you are geographically. Because in Europe, there is a really good chance that these people are breaking the law if any of them are located in Europe.
Well, I think most of these guys are from America, but I don't have all of that facts on me. Because I know, like, the people who go at them, the Federal Trade Commission, those are American guys.
Well, yes, but the FTC laws are not nearly as strict as the European trade laws.
Well, even in this case, from what I understand, is I don't know if you've ever seen an advertisement. Somewhere on that advertisement, they have to put, this is an advertisement.
Yeah.
Plain enough that you can see it. And obviously, these people didn't. They didn't even announce the fact they were part of development. I think, like, one of them had, like, a little note that, like, hey, we're making this game and we'll have, a new patch soon. In, like, the, like, notes below a YouTube. But that was about it.
Well, to be fair, nobody reads video game credits.
But yeah, so they all made their Let's Plays. As people who made the company as, essentially a glorified ad in this case. And the question comes, is this an ad? And did they break the rules by not disclosing it?
Is this a show or is this not? Is this real?
Yeah, is where all of this comes in. Like, not even, like, sponsored by, their own company, which, they were co-developers.
Yeah, it's like...
no sponsored by, no, this is an advertisement for, like, none of that. Just, I got this cool game, and it's called,
Dead Realms.
Dead Realms, yes.
We forgot the title, guys.
Yeah.
We're
you erased it off of my whiteboard.
We are professionals here.
But yeah, so it brings up an interesting case, because we are, we don't really think it, but we are also on YouTube. We are technically YouTubers now.
Technically, despite the fact that we get maybe 2 views.
2 views, but those 2 views put us in YouTuber territory now. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Well,
I guess.
Gosh, this is actually really, like I said, it really depends on how you perceive this and where you live. Because, like I said, if you're in Europe, they just straight up broke the law.
Yeah.
But, gosh, this is... I'll be honest, I have not heard of these guys before. Have you heard of them at all?
I've heard of C-Nanners before. I think I've seen a little bit of his stuff. The other 2, I don't.
Alright, so... I feel like part of this, if it is an ad... sure. Because there's a lot of people doing this on YouTube now. There's a lot of people doing this.
Yeah. Well, most of that comes in, a game developer coming to them and saying, like, hey, will you just play this game on your YouTube?
Yeah.
And sometimes they're paying them and sometimes they're not. And disclosure between that's a gray area. But this is a case where they are developers of the game.
And that is...
Like, that's where it kind of takes an extra step into, like, a bit more gray than usual.
Because on one hand, I'm not going to begrudge a developer for having a Let's Play channel and for, playing the games that their company has made.
Yeah, like, I'm with you on that. I have no problem with them doing that.
Because, fucking wrestlers have Let's Play channels now.
Yeah, like, I have no problem with self-promotion, especially via YouTube. The problem comes...
that they didn't reveal
with
it.
Disclosure.
Yes,
and we've talked a little bit about gray areas of disclosure before.
But we've talked about it in more of a Kickstarter sense.
Yeah, we talked about it with the Kickstarter. We've talked about this before, but here's a case where it really starts to bend the gray and really starts to... Are they breaking the law?
I don't know if they're not breaking a law, a very minor law, because I will be honest, this is not the worst thing I can possibly imagine, because let me put it this way. Let's say you make a game.
Yes.
And let's say you're really proud of this game, and you want to share it with people, and you want to show people what you did.
Yes, everyone needs to know about Big Dicks the game.
Yes, everybody.
That's my game.
Everybody needs to know about Big Dicks the game.
Ha! I gotta just say it. He's got this look like he's just gonna kill me now.
If this podcast ends suddenly, you'll know why. Anyway, if you've made your game and you played it and actually, here's the thing that I would be more happy with. If they played the game and they said right up front, "Hi, I'm the developer of blah blah blah."
Well, that's where the gray area comes, is that they didn't, like, there is no reference that they're the developer, no reference that they have money involved in this, no nothing. They were just like, yeah, there's this game, and I just feel like playing it.
Well, that's a if the money thing makes it really hard, because especially with Kickstarter, let's say you what have you backed recently? My number 9 or whatever?
I think the last thing I threw money at was Bloodstained and Ukulele, I guess.
Okay, so let's say Ukulele comes out and you play it for your channel. Are you going to remember to disclose the fact that you backed the Kickstarter?
Yeah. Like, that's obviously gray area, but...
That is a really gray area, but this is not so much. I think if they didn't break any laws, then they did something wrong.
Yeah.
And they should be not punished, but at least reprimanded.
And this is sort of one of those things, like, this is going to... Like, if this doesn't go to court and set a precedent now, either way the precedent goes, like, it's going to affect both YouTubers and developers who work with YouTubers probably in a negative way.
I don't know if it's going to be negative, but this will be an interesting story to actually see some follow-up on.
Yeah, like, this will be an interesting story, like, if it ever hits courts. Which is one of those things, like, people have, obviously submitted it to the Federal Trade Commission, but it's up to them if they pursue it or not. But if this was a thing to go to the courts and to be found, unlawful, how it would start to trickle down and affect paid reviews for, other YouTubers. So, when the Game Grumps, or when Super Best Friends, or when PewDiePie, or whoever
Jesse
you
Cox,
like.
or whoever.
Yeah, whoever, you like,
Actually,
is somehow paid to be involved in a game.
I would actually like to hear Total Biscuit's opinion on this, because he normally has some interesting stuff to say.
Well, one of the things, and I kind of, I don't like Total Biscuit, but I respect Total Biscuit, because he's very gung-ho about wanting to be as unbiased and full disclosure and all of that.
Yes,
and as far as I know, he hasn't really broken the rules.
No, I don't think he really has at all. I mean, he's...
he's very open about, if he's involved in something, or if there's money involved, and all of that.
Yeah, so you don't like him, but you can at least respect him for that.
Yeah, I don't like him personally and his content. I think a lot of his reviews are really shallow, because he basically just plays the game and talks over it.
Well, yeah.
And the impressions he leaves aren't the best for what he's sort of doing. But for how he runs his business, lots of respect for Total Biscuit.
All right, fair enough.
And this is sort of one of those, opposite Total Biscuits. One of the things we were kind of scared of for a long time, and now, it's out.
This is going to be interesting.
So,
but hey, you know what's 100% real and not fake at all?
Oh man, that's the best segue ever. Is it John Cena? Have you seen those videos?
I have seen those videos.
Oh my gosh, those videos are great.
Okay, so wrestling in general, because there's a couple of wrestling things that have happened recently that I'd like to talk about.
First, I want to talk about John Cena videos. They're the best. If you haven't seen one of these, my recommendation is Who is the Mystery Warrior? It's this little Dragon Ball Z clip. It also has John Cena.
I like the Goku one where he's calling on Gohan to kill Cell.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, where Goku's like, I won't be finishing this fight. Bring out this mystery fighter. Let's see what he's got. You won't be saying that when you see the mystery fighter. It's you, John Cena. There's a bunch of them, and they're all great.
They are.
I don't even like wrestling, but I love like meta wrestling, I guess.
I want to like wrestling, but it's just so goofy. It's almost too goofy for me to get into, and that's saying something.
Well, like when I was younger, like I hated wrestling for pretending to be real, I guess.
That was actually my problem too. It's like this would be a lot cooler if it were real, and by that point, the whole kayfabe was gone.
Yeah, because like I never understood as a kid that like wrestling not being real was like the unspoken thing. You didn't talk about it because that wasn't the point.
Yeah, the point
was the drama, the story.
Exactly. And now that I'm older, I would like to get into it, but there's that years of antagonism towards
like
it.
I'll watch wrestling and I'll just because I actually did wrestling in high school, like
real
Greco-Roman
Roman type of shit.
Sort of Greco, but yeah, like Olympic wrestling is, I guess, what they'd call it. But yeah, I did that in high school, and so like I kind of like know like where all of it's like that's not a real thing.
The Irish rep is the most fake thing on the planet.
Oh my gosh! And there's just like so many like when I see like these guys get pummeled in the face, like bare hands, and like everyone walks away, no blood and anything. I'm just like, did he? Nope.
But okay, so. The new WWE game that's coming out.
Yes.
I'm not sure the best way to phrase this. Oh, did you ever see Back to the Future?
I did see Back to the Future. That was a great movie. What about Back to the Future?
Do you know that scene where Marty McFly is fading out of existence?
Yes.
That's Hulk Hogan.
Oh, poor Hulk Hogan.
Actually, I'm really not surprised because the headline almost reads like an Onion article. Hulk Hogan, 61-year-old man, is actually a racist. Okay, so apparently he said something really kind of racist in that sex tape thing.
Yeah.
Which is why he was fighting it so hard. Okay, so Gawker, was it Gawker?
I'm not sure. I just remember he said something really racist, and now all of wrestling is kind of forgetting him.
Okay, so Gawker released a sex tape of him. God, why would you want to watch a Hulk Hogan sex tape?
That's a good question.
Okay, so he was fighting it really hard, and I for a while people just thought, because it's a sex tape.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that.
Or do they?
Really, it was really about the fact that he said some really racist shit on that sex tape. And so basically what the WWE has done is they have erased him from time. They deleted his profile from the WWE website. He's not in the Hall of Fame anymore. He's gone. He is an unperson. They did this before with Chris Benoit after he, killed his family.
Yeah.
And killed himself. And, that's kind of fair because you really don't.
The big thing is they don't want their heroes, because there are a lot of kids who watch this, and they don't want their heroes to be bad people.
At the same time, he's 61 years old.
Yeah.
He's probably a racist, A lot of people...
it's one of those, like, almost don't ask, you don't tell, like...
And...
were you around before Martin Luther King? Probably a racist.
And look at fucking, what's his face? Who's the wrestling guy? Ed McMahon? Is that him?
Yeah, Ed McMahon.
You know what? He's probably a super big racist.
He is probably a terrible racist.
Look at the wrestlers. Giant Khali, who is a giant fucking black fat witch doctor character. And
there are so many like terrible stereotypes, and nobody's like, yeah, that might be a little racist. Like, what's his bit? He's Irish. He's a leprechaun. Yeah. Like, what's your bit? You're an Indian
black witch doctor. You've got the face paint and the maybe a little racist. So what's your gimmick? What was that you said? Blackface. That's an interesting gimmick. But at the same time, do they really think they can erase Hulk fucking Hogan?
Yeah.
From fucking wrestling.
The guy had his own TV show, man.
He had a lot more than Okay, but here's the thing I really love. I've heard this joke so many times, but I still love it so much.
Yes.
Hulk Hogan is a real American. He's fighting for the rights of every 3/5 of a man. That is so fucking terrible, but I love it so much.
That's so bad.
Okay, so that was one wrestling thing. The other wrestling thing is that SummerSlam happened recently. I'm not sure if you watched that at all.
No.
So, have you heard what happened at SummerSlam?
I have not.
Okay, so Jon Stewart, the commentator guy, he was actually the host of it.
Alright.
So, it's like the title for title match. It's the USA title, which means shit all, and the world title between John Cena and, who was the other guy? Look it up for me, please, would you?
Let's see. SummerSlam, John Cena. Okay, so don't look at it. Don't you look away. You look away. You look away because I want to see this. Okay. Oh yeah, John Cena and Seth Rollins. Okay, so you saw it. Okay, so here's the thing. John Cena and Seth Rollins are fighting, and it's not really a good match. John Cena accidentally hits the ref, and the ref goes out of the ring. And then Jon Stewart runs into the ring with a chair, smacks John Cena I saw
in
the little
back,
gif there. Yes.
and fucking tosses the chair to Seth Rollins.
Oh, John.
Now, I don't know what to think about that. I don't really like Jon Stewart. I don't like that type of politics, humor, news, comedy thing. But at the same time, this is just so weird. I don't know what to think. It's just so bizarre.
Well, I mean, now that he's retired, he's got to get a hobby, right?
I guess.
Because he's officially done with The Daily Show.
Well, anyway, so here's the
So I guess he's taking up wrestling now.
So here's the other thing. You know The Undertaker, right?
Yes.
Everybody knows who The Undertaker is. Well, he was the last match. He was fighting with, like, Brock Lesnar. I think it was Brock Lesnar. Yeah, anyway. He was fighting with that guy. He was fighting with a wrestler.
Yeah.
And so he's old now. He's, like, really old now.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I heard, I'm stealing this from the Best Friends podcast, and this actually got me thinking of really cool wrestling gimmicks.
All right.
Is Undertaker basically has supernatural powers. That's his whole gimmick.
Yeah.
Is that he can, like, teleport and do whatever.
Yeah.
He's got supernatural powers.
He does stage tricks.
Yes, he's supernatural.
They turn off the lights and he shows up somewhere else.
So, but here's the thing. He's old. So when he retires, you know what they should really do?
What?
Like, find another wrestler and have him do a soul transfer. Like,
soul transfer?
Like, your soul is mine, and have him switch bodies.
With The Undertaker?
Yes.
And just have a perpetual line of Undertakers?
That is the only character you could do that for? And would you not think that was the greatest gimmick?
Oh my gosh. That would be actually hilarious.
That would be amazing. You would watch the fuck out of that.
Only if they didn't charge for pay-per-view every time something happens.
Okay, so I got thinking, what would be some other good wrestling gimmicks? So WWE has been trying to get on Twitter. They've been doing this match on Twitter. No, this match is number 1 on Twitter, when it's not.
Yeah.
It really isn't. So if they really wanted to get ahead of that, if they wanted to do that, you know the interrupting cow jokes.
Yeah.
Knock knock was there, interrupting cow, move, whatever. Interrupting John Cena. They take advantage of those videos. We were just talking about them.
Yeah.
So what they should do, is like, okay, let's say you've got a wrestler, name a wrestler for me. Somebody who's actually... Kofi Kingston. Okay, let's say Kofi Kingston. Okay, that's the only wrestler I know right off the top of my head.
Works for me.
Okay, so let's say Kofi Kingston's doing his opening, and you know how elaborate their openings get.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's have the announcer, and coming out is, and then all of a sudden, smash cut, John Cena! And then John Cena runs out there, smacks the guy, and then runs back.
Yeah, like, I'm surprised if they haven't done that in this point.
I don't think they have.
Like, I definitely see that they're just going to do it.
Okay, or like when they're in the middle of the ring and they're cutting their promo. The other guy's cutting their promo. And they're like, and another thing, I have this tonight, and then all of a sudden, smash cut, John Cena's theme starts playing, the guy's looking around like, what the fuck? And then John Cena comes out of nowhere with a chair, bam, smacks him in the back of the head, guy flies off, drops the microphone, John Cena picks it up, and does his own promo, and then runs away. That would be so amazing.
John Cena! I'm surprised, if they haven't done that, because they've probably done stuff similar to that before.
But the problem is, Cena is a face, so you really can't be that dickish if you're a baby face. Oh, but it would be so much fun.
I'm pretty sure they could do it even if he was the baby face of the series.
This idea is free for it, by the way, WWE.
Please, go for it.
Do it, just fucking...
Make it happen.
Do it.
Add some Dragon Ball in there, too.
But you know what? I want wrestling to be... Okay, we all know it's fake. I want wrestling to be the goofiest shit ever. Like, everybody has an Undertaker scale gimmick.
See, for me, I don't think that's quite the way to go. I think part of what makes wrestling as good as it is that they pretend it's real. There's just enough, sort of suspension of disbelief that it might be real.
Dude, Rey Mysterio fought in a Money in the Bank match, which is the one where they hang the suitcase over the ring.
Yeah.
He fought in a Money in a Bank match for custody of his kid!
Yeah. Well,
okay, that's already fucking goofy. I just want it to be you know what? This guy has superpowers. This guy can travel back in time and change matches.
See, at that point, that's where it's
But would you really hate a time travel gimmick where, two identical twins, and one of them's wrestling and the other one comes out, smacks his self. It's trust me, if you do this, you'll win the world championship. And then he disappears. Wouldn't you think a time travel gimmick like that would be kind of cool?
I think that's the point where, you can no longer hide the fact that wrestling's fake. Even though they do have the gimmicks, and even though they do have Undertaker characters and all of that.
Undertaker doing his soul switch.
Yeah, all of that stupid stuff.
You would love that.
I think having, riding the line of realism is sort of what makes wrestling a little bit better than it is.
You know what? I wanted to be Fallout, just goofy.
Because obviously, if I wanted to see something real, I'd just watch, MMA or something. Or boxing. If I want to see, real fights.
Yeah, boxing real.
Boxing is real.
Yeah,
they are actually punching each other in the face.
And they are actually taking real falls for real money.
See, that is a separate issue, but at least they bleed when they get hits.
No, they actually don't bleed, and that's kind of the problem. It's all brain damage inside.
Yeah. Well, they shut it down when they start bleeding.
Anyway, point is.
But
I just wanted to see as goofy as... I mean, the Scooby-Doo WWE video. Do you know how that started?
How?
Okay, I had a friend who watched it and told me just the opening.
Yeah.
Okay, did you ever see Yu-Gi-Oh! At all?
Yes.
Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Pegasus.
I've seen plenty of Yu-Gi-Oh! in my life.
With Pegasus inviting them to the tournament.
Yu-Gi, my boy!
With the video. It is literally fucking that. Shaggy and Scooby win a contest and Ed McMahon invites them to WWE Island and flies them out on a fucking helicopter. That is the best shit. I want that.
See, I can understand, there being a market for the super fake wrestling where, you can no longer hide, but I think for me, part of what makes wrestling, important, part of what has its appeal is that...
Oh, wow, these guys can actually sell their falls.
Yeah, that they could,
It's for you.
They look the part, they act the part.
For you, it's more about the athleticism.
Yeah, I think there needs to be some level of athleticism to it, because they are actors first and foremost, but they are actors who can pretend to fight. Because clearly they can't fight. They had a whole bit where, they had them do real fighters, and then they would just go down in one hit.
Yeah,
Put someone who can like actually
John
punch.
Cena against Ronda Rousey. That would be.
Oh yeah. I mean that's basically it, and it's like, oh well.
Oh wow, John Cena's all over the place. You really can't see him anymore because he's a fine red mist. She is really cool, isn't she?
She, you know what? I think, like, what she brings to MMA is sort of like kind of what I wish like they would do with wrestling a little bit more. Where like she is a character, and the way they market her and the way they act her, it is a character.
But at the same
it's
time,
her.
she is. She's playing
and she's
herself.
Really good.
She's playing herself, is what the trick is.
Yeah.
Like Bill Murray played himself in Zombieland or whatever.
Yeah.
But she is a fucking good fighter.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's the big thing. Like, if wrestling could look at that and kind of see, like, okay, she's good, she can fight. Like, when people talk shit, she backs it up. Not with... Because, like, this has happened multiple times. Like, people are just like, yeah, I'm just going to fuck up Ronda Rousey. And they're just...
Or that one gal who, like, talked about who was mocking her, Ronda Rousey's dad's suicide.
Yeah, and...
It's like, well, first off, you don't fucking do that.
And I remember, like, for the fight, like, Ronda Rousey's a grappler, and the other one was a striker. And so she went striker. She didn't go to her ground. She just went striker and beat her at her own game.
And beat the shit out of her.
And, like, that's the kind of, like, where it gets real and where, like, there's some drama, but also people getting punched in the face. And that's kind of, like, I wish wrestling would kind of be a little bit more.
You know what we want? We want Mutant League. We want, like...
Mutant League.
We want genetically altered freaks literally killing each other in the ring for our amusement.
You know what? I just want Rock'em Sock'em Robots, to be honest. Let's just call Wolverine and make it happen.
Well, actually, you know that BattleBots is actually legit back on the air, right?
Is it?
Yeah, you didn't hear?
No.
BattleBots is legit back on the air.
Oh, how did I miss that?
I don't know. Where the fuck have you been?
I love BattleBots. Oh, they're so cool.
BattleBots is legit on the air again.
Oh wow! After this, I'm gonna have to like YouTube's and whatever find some of this stuff.
It's on like I want to say it's on NBC, but it's legit back on the air.
Yeah. All right. No, that's oh my gosh, BattleBots. Yes. I love because I also really. I'm a science major. I like the science. I like the technical stuff.
You are really excited about the mecha fight between Japan and the United States, aren't you?
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started about that.
By the way, USA forever.
Hell yeah, USA forever. America.
Because
freedom.
Yeah, the Japanese robots, they had to actually add a melee section because our robot's too good at shooting. You got the fucking mech warrior robot there.
Yeah, like that's basically what it is. They made a puncher, they made a striker, and we were like, yeah, guns.
Yeah, fuck you, guns.
Guns.
We have the mech warrior bullshit, and they've got their stupid Gundam.
Oh my god.
Mech warrior is so much superior.
All of this just makes me want to play some Armored Core, goddamn.
Yeah, really. I think our whiteboard is empty, so...
So, I guess that is it for,
today.
Yeah.
I will literally be back tomorrow.
So,
to drop off Dark Souls 2. Fuck me! I had a whole bit where I was gonna say, I brought Dark Souls 2 back.
He was very excited about this, too. He had, like, a plan, like, memos and... Oh, my gosh.
I was so pissed off at myself.
But, so, hopefully, look forward to... Metal Gear Solid, I guess you decided, are you going to start with the original Metal Gear or just go Metal Gear 1?
I think I'm going to do... Okay, is the original, like, Metal Gear, like, just Metal Gear? Is that have any bearing on the plot whatsoever?
Sort of, yes. It's not so important that you need to play it, but the backstory to Metal Gear Solid is still sort of relevant.
I'll just start with Metal Gear Solid because that's the one where Kojima really started to put his...
Most of his stuff was stolen from his original Metal Gear. Because Metal Gear Solid, the original one, was meant to be sort of a reboot. Because he kind of realized nobody played the original ones. So it was a reboot of the Metal Gears, but it still held on to the continuity of Metal Gear 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'll just do Metal Gear Solid.
Because I did Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, Ground Zeroes. And then I actually went back and played the original Metal Gears. Really not a whole lot of story going on. Like, it's small. It's sort of like NES storytelling.
I think I'll do it that. If I can beat Metal Gear Solid 1, then I'll go back and play Metal Gear.
Like, all you really need to grab from it is there was a guy named Big Boss.
And he has
Snake
Zanzibar
killed him with
Land.
the flame flower.
And Zanzibar Land.
Yeah, Zanzibar Land.
Maybe, do you think we get to actually found Zanzibar Land in MGS5?
I'm pretty sure, like, that's... Because in Peace Walker, you essentially made Outer Haven.
Which is... I know nothing about Metal Gear Solid.
It's sort of Zanzibar Land.
I know, like, I know the Infinite Ammo headband joke. I know some stuff just through cultural osmosis. I know Zanzibar Land is a fucking stupid name for a country.
Yeah, put it this way. Like, I don't want to go into it any more than I have to, because these are games that you just want to sit there and just soak up. They are so good.
This is going to make for a really fun LP, because first of all, it's going to be our first LP together.
Yes. And it's going to be one where we're just sitting there and, like, reading the text and the dialogue, because we're not skipping that. I'm not letting you skip it.
Okay, fair enough, but you can...
Because, like, a lot of, like, the juicy bits, like, the things we like about, like, especially Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are the codec calls, which are these little optional, like, have people talk to you, and they build so much to the game, and,
anyway.
It'll be good.
Yes, it'll be good.
It'll be good.
It'll be fun. It'll be fine. I cannot be as bad as DSP.
So,
I just can't. Right?
I don't think anyone can, to be perfectly honest. Like, you have to be trying to be that bad.
I mean, I watched his How Not to Play Dark Souls, and I don't think I would be that bad.
I mean, I beat the game without dying as much as he did. Like, I don't think I died in the tutorial.
Yeah, really. Okay, so, okay.
So...
that is my major fear. That is, like, my most devastating fear.
You know what? You will have me there to...
guide my hits.
Nicely guide. I definitely don't want to be one of those players like, hey, you gotta pick up the key and put it in the keyhole. Like, because solving some of those puzzles on your own is some of the fun. But definitely one of those things,
If I die, like, twice on the same guy, you're gonna be like, okay, you gotta do something different.
It's like, hey, you remember when you picked up the thing?
Oh, that thing!
Yeah, those kind of, like, not, when you need it, I will be there. Just like you, Internet.
Just like you.
But I guess, so that'll be for you. I guess my next thing, I now have to decide which of my lovely titles I should move on to next in my DS playthrough.
Actually, I had a question for you.
Yes.
Are you going to pick up Dying Light?
Dying Lights.
You've not heard of Dying Light?
That was the one that came out a while ago, right?
No, this is a new one.
Oh, Dying Light wasn't the weird zombie game? Or am I thinking of another game?
No, you're thinking of,
Let me take a quick... Yeah, Dying Light. That's the one that came out, like, January. Which one are you thinking of?
Wait, hold on. A Dying Light first person. Shit, you're right. Shit. Fuck. It's the one where it's basically a 80s slasher movie and you're playing as the teenagers. It just came out just recently.
Recent release.
It's PS4.
PS4. Da, 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 da.
Fuck me.
No, God damn it, PlayStation. No one cares about your game. Until Dawn?
Until Dawn, that was it. It was something. Are you going to pick up Until Dawn?
I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot about it.
Okay, so Until Dawn is a really ambitious game. like you're in like a northern cabin, you're playing a bunch of teenagers, and there's a serial killer, and literally you will switch characters. Your character is killed, and you switch to the next guy, and there are tons of different endings apparently depending on who's still alive, if everybody's still alive.
You know what that almost sounds like? I don't know if you ever Maniac Mansion.
I've heard, that's like one of those old PC
NES. I think it was PC, and then I played it on the NES.
All right, that sounds like a really old, like almost FMV.
No FMVs. Basically, you're a dude, and your girlfriend was kidnapped by these guys in the mansion, and you get to pick 3 friends from like a roster of people, and you all go into the house and you swap between the friends, and you have to want to be at certain places at certain times, and like if you mess up, like one of your kids can get kidnapped or taken by the owners of the house and held hostage and killed. And it was a really good game for the time. It almost sounds like that.
Well, this is a larger cast, and this is more of a almost
like obviously this is PS4 and not
this is
Nintendo Entertainment System.
This is an 80s slasher type of thing, and there's a lot of things you can do. You can hide. You can try to survive. It apparently it's got a really ambitious concept, and it sounds super interesting. And I would love to try it. I want to know if you're gonna pick it up or not.
You know what? I am going to look into this game and see if it was something that interests me. And I guess next time on the podcast, I will have a answer, yes or no.
Okay.
And that'll be next week.
Yes, it will. Actually, something to look forward to.
Something to look forward to. Something else to look forward to. Like I said, back to the DS games. I'm done with Hotel Dusk 2 and 5. I'm pretty much running down to the ending here. Which game should I pick up next from my pile of games here?
Professor Layton and Phoenix Wright crossover.
I have not. You can pick Phoenix Wright, or you can pick Professor Layton, or you can pick 999, or Ghost Trick.
Why can't you do the crossover?
Because I have not played the originals to get all the crossover jokes. So maybe after I play these, I'll pick it up. After, if I get one of those. But those are our 4 picks. We're going to decide right now. Ghost Trick, Phoenix Wright, Professor Layton, 999.
Well, 999 is the best. Sounds like is probably one of the better games out of that selection.
So do we start with the best, or do we save it for later?
We save it for later. I say Ghost Trick.
Ghost Trick.
Well, actually, Ghost Trick's good as well. I say, you know what?
All of these, from what I understand, are good. So it's going to be...
Let's do a mix-up.
A mix-up, all right.
Let's do Professor Layton first.
All right.
And then we'll go from serious to goofy, from more serious to more goofy.
All right, so we are going with Professor Layton for the next.
Professor Layton, then we'll do 999, then we'll do...
So the next thing on my block, you've heard it here first. I have Professor Layton and the Curious Village, and the sequel to it, Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box, by Level 5. I actually really like Level 5 as developers.
Level 5 put out a new game recently, actually.
Which one?
It was a robot, kid fighting game. You're a kid, you control a robot.
I have to look into that. Because I know I've always liked Level 5 stuff. So.
Alright.
But yeah, so that'll be coming up for me in the next coming week.
You're
so
gonna
I
be
guess
in a week?
Hopefully. I mean, I hope we're going to be busy doing something else tomorrow.
I keep dropping the whiteboard. I hate that.
One job. Hold the whiteboard. But we're getting up to 1 hour and 45 minutes here. So,
bye.
Final sign-offs. Anything last you want to say?
Yeah. Don't tell people about your massacres before you do them.
That is the best way we can end it. Remember, kids, kill safely.
Indeed.